If you're looking to sell your expertise online, then here's a small test. Read the first sentence of your website or your LinkedIn headline out loud. And now ask, could a sensible stranger repeat that sentence back to you accurately after just hearing it once? If that sentence starts with your method, with your framework, with your process, your phrases, your proprietary something or other, then you're making them do the work too early. So today's fix is really simple. Lead with the effect, the visible change, and then earn the right to explain the method. If your intro starts with your process, then you're making the viewer or the reader do all the work that you could do for them. There's a reason I like the Chicago close-up magic tradition for this. So Chicago became known for magic that happens right in front of your eyes. Bars, restaurants, people pay half attention, their drinks arrive, someone's aunt asks a question at the wrong moment, but magic is going on, even in that environment that's not really friendly to any kind of complicated setup. So the craft of magic evolved around one requirement: the effect has to be instantly legible. Not dramatic, but legible. A card changes, a coin moves, something vanishes, something reappears. And the audience never experiences the rehearsal that went into it, they experience the outcome. Close-up magic only works if the outcome is crystal clear before anyone cares how it's done. One of the older classic centres of that scene was Matt Shulian's, a place where close-up magic was done at the bar and at the table for decades. And then later on you got places like Magic Inc., a shop that became a kind of gravity well for really serious practitioners. And nowadays you can walk into the Chicago Magic Lounge through a laundromat front and watch a whole lineage modernised into an everyday experience for today's generation. But the rules stay exactly the same. The audience isn't there to admire our method, they are there to feel a clear effect. The audience pays for the experience, not the backstage tour. Most of the experienced professionals that I meet do exactly the opposite online. They open, if you like, with the entire backstage tour. Now, they believe and they want to be credible. I use a proven methodology across 5 phases. I combine behavioral science, systems thinking, and deep transformation work. Now, all of this, of course, may well and probably is true, but truth is not the same thing as comprehension. And if a stranger who cannot really tell what changes when they hire you, then they can never buy from you. And then you're going to end up in that grim place where you keep on adding details after details because you're trying to be more and more accurate, more and more appealing. Now, nothing you say is false, but they simply cannot repeat it back. Here's the structure I want you to try. Effect, proof, method. Now, the effect is one simple sentence. It describes the visible change in the client's world. Proof is one concrete sign that you can produce that change, and the method is how you do it, but only after they know what they are buying. So this is not some clever kind of marketing trick. It's a basic respect for how people go about understanding things. If you lead with the method, then you force them to imagine the effect, and most people will never do that. If you lead with the effect, then you let them decide whether or not they care. Then the method becomes interesting and not confusing. Give them one claim that they can test, and then show them what that testing looks like. So I'm a great believer in practicality, and a practical way to write the effect sentence is to just use this structure. When someone hires me, What becomes easier or faster or clearer within the first 30 days? Not forever, not their whole life, just the first 30 days. And then write it like you're speaking to them, to a peer, not pitching to a room. This is not about being simpler as a person. It is all about being clearer as a business. Let me show you 2 rewrites that I see all the time. Here's example 1, the method first. So it might be something like, I provide strategic consulting and coaching to help leaders unlock their very best performance. Now, I can't buy that. Not because it's wrong, but because it's just fog. Here's the effect first rewrite. I help senior specialists turn what they do into an offer a stranger can understand and a client can buy without becoming a different person. Proof, 1 line. We do it by extracting one repeatable problem that you already solve and then building a clean public explanation around it. Now you see somebody can repeat that back. They might not want it, but at least they can grasp it. Here's example 2 that I see. Method first. I deliver bespoke solutions across branding, positioning, and content. And here would be the effect first rewrite of that. I help you stop sounding like a collection of services and start sounding like one coherent practitioner. Proof. We tighten up the first sentence and then we make the rest of the content support that sentence. You do not need more information. You need a cleaner first sentence. By all means, notice what I'm doing, but notice what I am not doing. I'm not promising a new identity. I'm not claiming some vast transformation. I'm not using grand language. I'm just making the effect legible and then pointing to proof behaviors. Where does this fit? Where does this go in the real world? Well, on your LinkedIn, your headline and your first line of the About section. Perhaps on your website, that very first sentence on what we call above the fold. In a sales conversation, the first 20 seconds when somebody says, so what do you do? So try this. I do X for Y, and the sign it's working is Z. Now, that last part, that Z, matters because it turns a claim into something that's actually testable, and people relax when they can test. Now, if you want help doing this without overthinking, I made a short 7-day clarity sequence. It's a daily prompt and it's a small rewrite, nothing dramatic, just the work. You'll find the link down in the channel description, and I'll put it here in the description for this video. And if you're building a serious business online from real expertise, then consider subscribing to this channel because I publish one long form each week and short forms every day of the week that sit alongside it.